Yeah. My dearest Professor Lakwinder Singh, I'm truly sorry I'm not able to make it to come to the conference that you organized, and to be honest, I should have been there. I tried my best to be there, but there were so many other demands that I had to deal with, and including recently I went to a place called Nesprit in Mepela. There's a campus there where they have asked us to train about research, education, about writing, publishing for staff. So majority of the staff are not, do not have PhDs, so we were spending time with them. So all these challenges made it difficult for me to come and join you. Sincere apologies, but you know, for me, India is not just a country or a nation. It's beyond that, because you have this civilization was saying that the entire world is one humanity. Don't call some strangers, some relatives. We're all human and we're one. We're one family, one human energy. You inspire me all the time, and it's wonderful, and it goes extremely well also with our Ubuntu. And Ubuntu also came here from South Africa. Though they don't practice it, it's the most beautiful philosophy also. It could make them also, like you, a civilization land if they try to practice it. There's an I in you, there is an you in I. It's the same thing. It's similar, like your humanity is one family, so we have the same things. So thank you very much, and let me give you 4 comments. One is our current fourth industrial revolution, and the second is how innovation system that we have borrowed from the OECD, we should not duplicate it. We should not say the Indian national system of innovation, the South African national system of innovation, and all other national systems of innovation, or do it through regions or other categories. I'm going to suggest that development economics and innovation system, the way it has been going, we need a paradigm shift. We need to an innovation system. We need to an the economic development system. So we need to do these 2 things, and we also need to unify and network them in the context of where we are going now. In the context of the world, the fourth industrial revolution. In the context of Africa, we are a continent, Africa. I think you, the Indians, own India, mostly, even if there are others who are there, and you run India. The Chinese also run China. The Europeans run Europe, but the Africans still do not run Africa, and they do not own Africa. Something like $70 billion every year from Africa goes out of Africa. Africa donates the rest of the world. Others own Africa. We don't own Africa. So we have a serious issue. So the question of African unity is not a joke. It's a serious demand. Why? If Africans unite, they will know how to own Africa and run Africa. So when we think in terms of innovation systems, I am suggesting that we should add in the African context the following elements. One, what we include most than anything else, integrating Africa, uniting Africa, networking Africa, and also creating a smart Africa, green Africa, sustainable development Africa, entrepreneurial Africa, innovative Africa, inventive Africa, and creative Africa. We need to create this. Now, when we design an innovation system, we need to approach it in such a way that it captures all these components and integrates them in a very conceptually and theoretically. That's what we need to do. So we need the development economics and national system of innovation, as they have evolved, have to be integrated with a new concept, a new approach. And I am suggesting that we should create what we call a social innovation system for sustainable and integrated African development. I would like something like that to be actually generated so that we actually construct a new approach. And what my paper that I'm going to submit to your book is basically going to deal with is mainly to really make a critique of the existing OECD borrowed, mimicked stuff that has been done for many years. For example, in South Africa, in 1996, they had a white paper. It's mainly done from, taken from outside. And I think they continued also another 10 years. They did a second one. Now the third one, they have done it. In fact, on the third one, we suggested to them that, the mining mineral industrial complex in South Africa must be replaced with a South African sovereign wealth fund for the people of South Africa. The fund can be used to make all the people, especially the younger generations, to be creators, inventors, innovators, and entrepreneurs. The fund, if managed well, will make the 54 million South Africans to live a well-being, capable, and decent life within a decade, not even with less than a decade. South Africa has rich mineral resources that can enable all the people to come together, and they can find a model to own the rich wealth, which the sovereign wealth fund from South Africa can actually enable them to enter into a new era of well-being and prosperity. And I think this is an important thing. And I think what we suggest is the national system of innovation, in fact, in South Africa, should be changed into the social innovation system in order to deal with the never-ending social and spatial disparity that has not been harmonized and standardized in South Africa until today. So the social innovation system in South Africa is to transform the informal economy and the townships and to make it a true change maker and game changer. We need something like that in South Africa. No need to copy a national system of innovation from OECD. Better to promote the social innovation, the social entrepreneurship, and a new social innovation system to address the entire set of problems that South Africa has. It's a rich economy, a rich country, but the wealth of the country is not owned by the people of South Africa. And they should learn how to own it, and they can do a lot of change to it. So there is a need to develop social entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship, not just only for the firm entrepreneurship and individual entrepreneurs. So this is critical in South Africa to bring the people together and remove what is retained from the apartheid time, even dividing the people as black, white, colored, and Indian, racial categorization. To move all beyond race and to bring up Ubuntu togetherness, South Africa needs urgently new social innovation and a new social entrepreneurship culture. That is the kind of thing we systematically tried to promote. The other very important issue is, at the moment, we have the fourth industrial revolution, we have big data, we have Internet of Things, we have connectivity. What don't we have? Artificial intelligence. These are changing dramatically many, many things. And 3D printing, what don't we have? Now, this is affecting our lives. The mobile phone has become a mobile miracle now. You know, artificial intelligence are also connected. Now we're going to have cars that we don't need to, what people don't drive. It can be done also technologically. So new safety conditions and others have to be done. The way we do the whole innovation approach with this new challenge is that whether we like it or not, we have to adjust it to the fourth industrial revolution, the demand of the fourth industrial revolution. This is serious impact that is going on, and I'll just give you some of the interesting points that we have here about the whole technology. At the moment, the change is happening dramatically. The fourth industrial revolution is not a continuation of the previous one, of the the third industrial revolution, where we have the ICT sector. There are some very unique changes that have come, and they are very dramatic and unexpected and exponential, the way they have been done. So what do? We need to find a way to change them. The change has become exponential, it's not linear. Every industry is expected to be disrupted and subject to change. Even labor, the way people work, is going to change. Okay, there are so many dramatic conditions that are coming. What you have is robotics. You have it's changing. Will make manual work obsolete. We have also other changes that are happening. Self-driving cars will make changes. We have nanotechnology, biotechnology, material science, photonics, 3D printing. All of them are also, and big data, are creating opportunities and challenges at the same time. Cybersecurity is also making progress, but has also created many problems. One of my students actually is doing a work on cybersecurity. Quantum computing, that is going to revolutionize storage and transmission of data. So we have current challenges. All the data the specifics, all of them are creating important challenges that we need to address. And it means they actually impact on how we think and unthink and rethink the whole innovation system approach that we are now working on. So there is now, even education, online learning has become common, enhancing education with Coursera, MOOCs, many things, replacing traditional face-to-face interaction. I, in fact, had a digital online education, how to run a course. I got a training for 1 day. Digital technologies are interacting with the biological world, and on a daily basis, the DNA analysis, the 3D printing, all these things are now creating amazing new developments that are actually creating new missions, and new trends have to be addressed. Even our space, our astronomy, is also changing. We don't know the demographics, the human demographics is also increasing. Because of all these changes, I must say to you that dramatic new changes are taking place. So, to just summarize to you, the way the innovation system has been developed, the way it has been done in our Global Leaks, in our India Leaks, in our Africa Leaks, in our Sika Leaks, Lila Leaks, and all kind of Euro Leaks and so on, we need to kind of have a group of us come together and actually now go for a new social innovation system that takes into consideration all these dramatic changes. What is happening with the fourth industrial revolution? The specific context that Africa is in, that the lack of integration has meant that the continent is losing, and it needs to have a system of innovation that actually makes. Recently, there was a very interesting meeting where Africans tried to say that they should create science champions among the 5 regions of Africa. So they selected 2 presidents from each region of Africa. You know what? In the first meeting, only 2 attended. The first is the host, the second is the president of Namibia. It was incredible. They were science champions, but the people who should be in the marathon race for the science champions, they were not there. How can there be a race when the marathon runners are not there? So the science was not done properly. In Africa, what the science champions could do is to develop what I'm just saying now about a new approach, social entrepreneurship, social innovation, the fourth industrial revolution, the specific context that Africa is suffering from, which is the fact that it's disunited, it's disintegrated. Africans don't own the African wealth. Huge amount of resources from Africa. Illicit financial flows are continuing, and we have major issues. All of this have to be addressed systematically, and a new, instead of also going with economics and separately, disciplinary silos, we need to integrate it and create a unified, networked integrated innovation system that actually addresses the people of South Africa and the rest of Africa. I must say, I'm amazed about the Norwegians. They created what they call the Sovereign Wealth Fund. And when they created in 1996, it was only when they got oil. You know what happened? Over the 12 years, they raised $1 trillion. Last year, in 2017, they had $131 billion that they gave to the people of Norway. So almost all the Norwegians are millionaires now. In the World Happiness Index, Norway is always number one, except this year became number 2. Finland took the number 1 position. All I'm saying to you is that because of the way, if you set up funds, you create a system, you can do it. As I told you, South Africa has more resources than Norway. But why is there in South Africa a mineral mining industrial complex that is not connected to the people of South Africa? And the people of South Africa need to also set up. And that's the kind of thing we recommend for their white paper, to set up a South African sovereign wealth fund for the people of South Africa. And believe me, within the next 5 to 10 years, all South Africans can also be millionaires, if this is done properly, systematically, and with a strategic vision and mission, that all of them are integrated, which they do it with integrity, humility, sincerity, and honesty. There's no doubt, and with moral and emotional and intellectual intelligence. If they combine these two, trust me, the sky is the limit. I sincerely congratulate you for continuing to organize important conferences, also for the way you also train so many African students. I'm just impressed. I was so impressed when you invited me to give a public lecture on Ethiopianism, Pan-Africanism, in Patiala, in the University of Punjab. I congratulate your leadership, the staff, the students, all of you, and all the participants, and my sincere apology for not being with you. Please do all you can to share this with with all our colleagues, friends, brothers and sisters. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Okay, bye.